The Salith flotilla dropped out of warp at the edge of Sol's system, a chain of patched hulls and flickering lights.
This is Matriarch Vel-I of the Salith. We are the last 80,000. Every other civilization turned us away. The Karun Concordat hunted us to near extinction. Our children have seen nothing but the inside of these ships. We do not expect mercy, but we beg Earth. Let our families breathe air that is not recycled. Let our people die on solid ground.
Her voice trembled, but she did not break. Behind her, 80,000 souls huddled in the dark, waiting. The broadcast raced toward the inner planets, a needle of static in an ocean of silence. Earth's deep space sensors caught the signal on a monitoring station. A technician watched the foreign wavelength spike and logged it. Unidentified fleet bearing toward Earth.
Please, we have nothing left to offer except our gratitude. Grant us a corner of your world, and we will trouble you no more.
The recording ended. The flotilla hung in the void, and the galaxy, as always, watched in silence. But this time, Earth was already listening. Within the hour, the alert reached Earth's highest office. President Catherine stood before a transparent screen, reading the Salith's raw plea.
They're asking for a corner of our world. After 16 refusals, they've come to us.
She summoned Director Marchetti to a secure briefing room, the door sealed behind them.
We're going to accept them, but not with open arms alone, with escorts. I want a fleet at the heliopause before they arrive and find us a world.
If we divert that many ships without public explanation, the other powers will ask questions.
Let them ask. By the time they understand, the Salith will already be under our protection. Get Colonel Carver. He'll command the escort.
Colonel Carver was summoned. In the orbital shipyard, the first carrier engines lit.
Tell the President we'll be ready within the week. I won't let those people down.
In her office, President Catherine recorded a reply. Her words were measured, but her eyes held a decision already made weeks before. The recording was sealed. 3 hours later, the first Terran carrier broke orbit, its hangar doors still open as escort destroyers fell into formation. The Salith flotilla limped into the heliopause, their reactors stuttering. Space around them was empty, or so they thought.
We've arrived. If there's no reply within the hour, we'll know Earth is like all the others.
A sensor alarm cut her off. Matriarch, massive contacts, Terran warships, dozens. They're everywhere.
Are they charging weapons? Is this a trap? Answer me.
The main screen lit up with the silhouettes of Terran carriers, their hangar doors glowing cyan. The Salith flotilla was surrounded.
Everyone, brace for the worst, but we do not fire. We did not come here to start a war.
Vel-I keyed the general comm, ready to plead again. Before she could transmit, the console chimed with an incoming signal, Terran signature, unencrypted.
Salith vessels, this is Colonel Carver of the Terran Confederacy. I am here to escort you. Please stand by. President Catherine has a message for your matriarch.
The Terran carrier's main view screen flickered, and a new face appeared. Older, silver-streaked hair, eyes that held both authority and welcome.
Matriarch Vel-I, I have heard your plea. I know you have been turned away 16 times. You did not know this, but we have been preparing for your arrival for weeks. A world has been set aside for your people. I have one message for you, and I mean it with all the conviction of my office. You are home.
The words cut through the static. On the Salith command deck, Vel-Ai's hand flew to her mouth.
Home. She said home.
Matriarch Vel-I, on behalf of Earth, I welcome you. Please follow us.
The Salith escort channel erupted, not with orders, but with sobs. For the first time in 20 generations, the Salith were not running.
Colonel Carver, we do not know how to thank you. We will follow.
The Terran fleet shifted formation, enclosing the Salith ships in a protective shell, and the long journey toward the inner system began. 3 Terran days later, the flotilla entered orbit around a world that had not existed on any chart, A year ago, green breathing, ready.
We call it Sanctuary. 3 months of emergency terraforming. It is not perfect, but the air is clean and the soil is rich.
I walked through 17 ports of refusal. I never let myself imagine a place like this.
Meanwhile, Director Marchetti stood in a windowless observation room, scrolling through refugee manifests that had been quietly cross-referenced with intercepted Karun data.
These people were not just victims. They were soldiers, strategists, code breakers. They carry the Karun's own secrets.
Down in the processing centers, medics tended to malnourished Salith children. Kindness looked simple, but above, the intelligence apparatus was already cataloging.
We did not do this only from compassion. One day we may ask for your help, not your resources, but your knowledge.
Whatever you need. My people owe Earth a debt that cannot be counted. We will serve.
The president was right to accept them. They are more than refugees. They are a weapon if used correctly.
And so, under the violet sky of Sanctuary, the Salith began to heal, while their hidden value was quietly indexed. A standard cycle later, President Catherine stood before the Galactic Assembly's projection feed, Earth's emblem behind her. The galaxy was listening.
The Salith people have been granted asylum. A world has been prepared, and they are now under Terran protection. Any who threaten them will be met with force. This is not a request, it is a statement of fact.
In the ornate Karun Concordat chamber, Ambassador Krell rose, his 4 eyes narrowing in rage.
Earth harbors fugitives of the Concordat. This is a provocation. The Salith are a threat to galactic order. If Earth does not reverse this decision, there will be consequences. The Concordat does not forget.
Alien media outlets ran headlines mocking the soft-hearted humans and their naive empathy. Few noticed the Terran defense satellites that had silently repositioned, or the fleet that now patrolled beyond Sanctuary's orbit. Catherine read the headlines and smiled. She had not expected gratitude. The galaxy believed Earth was foolish. That belief was precisely the weapon Earth intended to use. Director Marchetti met Matriarch Vel-I in a sterile Terran conference room. Colonel Carver stood by the door.
You asked to see me, Director. Is there a problem?
We want your people's knowledge of the Karun, their codes, their strategies. It's the kind of help that can't be public.
You mean spy on them? Use our trauma as a weapon.
I mean, ensure they never find you again. We don't expect you to fight. Just tell us what you know.
There are those among us who once served in Salith intelligence. I will speak to them.
The first volunteer was Torin, a young analyst whose unit the Karun executed.
I still remember Karun fleet formations, their communication handshakes. I can map their vulnerabilities for you.
Within a month, a classified wing of Earth's intelligence housed Salith and human analysts working in secret. Early decrypts surfaced, Karun orders long buried. The storm gathered, but outside those secret rooms, no one yet heard the thunder. Months of decryption yielded a single file chain. Torin sat frozen, staring at a screen that should not exist.
Director, this is not a field commander's excess. It is a full genocide authorization signed by the entire Karun High Council.
Copies of every execution order. They methodically detailed the Salith worlds they would burn.
Marchetti opened a scrambled channel to President Catherine. The data packets took 40 seconds to transmit.
Then we have everything. Good. Compile a single index dossier. No leaks, no mention outside your team. This is a future card, not today's news.
Within a week, the dossier was complete. Torin quietly renamed the encrypted folder Requiem. Vel-I was granted access in her sanctuary office. The screen displayed the first page.
My brother was a cartographer. He mapped the evacuation routes they targeted. He died on Grid 17. I see his death here in black text.
She did not weep in front of others, but alone, in the dark. The full scope of the Concordat's guilt broke through her composure. Earth now possessed the truth, indexed and waiting. The galaxy still thought them sentimental. Catherine and Marchetti met in the same secure room where the Salith plea had first been discussed. A holographic dossier rotated between them.
Now we have the keys to the Karun Concordat. This dossier can bring down their entire regime.
But timing is everything. Release too early and they can spin. Too late and the pressure to act grows.
We wait. Let the galaxy continue to believe we are naive. The moment they underestimate us completely, we reveal everything.
A bloodless victory. The Concordat will collapse under its own weight once the truth is out, and we will not have fired a single shot.
When they come to us, and they will, we will not offer war. We will offer them a mirror.
The dossier was sealed with the highest classification, declassify only on presidential command. Beyond the sealed room, Earth's patrols continued. Sanctuary grew. The Salith healed. Not a whisper of the coming storm reached the galaxy. Catherine's patience was not weakness. It was the calm of someone who held all the cards and knew exactly when to play them. And deep in the intelligence wing, Torin continued to map every vulnerability, waiting for the signal that would never come from impatience. 3 years later, a single Karun diplomatic ship crossed the Sol perimeter, its transponder requesting a trade summit. The escort was silent.
3 years. The humans will have tired of their expensive charity. They'll want the trade we offer.
The greeting party on the landing platform was a line of Terran officials and Colonel Carver, their expressions cold.
Ambassador Krell, welcome to Earth. We trust your journey was uneventful.
Uneventful, yes. I look forward to discussing a new era of cooperation between our peoples.
Krell strode down the ramp, his ornate robes billowing. The Terran delegation did not smile. He was led through a polished space station corridor, past human and alien personnel, moving with quiet purpose. Then he saw him. A young Salith in a Terran uniform, briskly walking, a datapad in hand, moving with the confidence of someone fully at home.
That is a Salith here, in their uniform, walking as if he owns this place.
Krell stopped mid-step, his 4 eyes wide. The Salith analyst met his gaze and kept walking. The power shift was unmistakable. Krell entered the meeting room under the Karun and Earth flags. President Catherine waited at the far end, expression unreadable.
Your hospitality is telling. I was unaware Salith were permitted in Terran government.
Torin works as an analyst here. Many Salith do now, within our Xeno Intelligence Directorate.
Krell's 4 eyes flickered. Xeno intelligence. The phrase stabbed deeper than any weapon.
This is a direct threat. Harboring them was one thing. Recruiting into your security apparatus is an act of war.
Catherine gestured toward a chair. Torin already sat there. Crisp uniform, unblinking stare.
Torin, note the ambassador's objections. For the record, we take all concerns seriously.
You think this is... I came for trade, not to be humiliated by the species you protect.
He caught himself. The room went still. Krell sagged into the seat. Across the table, Torin's fingers rested on his datapad, eyes never leaving the Karun ambassador.
You came for a trade agreement, Ambassador, but what you really want is to know what we know.
She placed a slim data slate on the table. A holographic index bloomed above it. Hundreds of file names, each a Karun secret.
Executive Order 774. Fleet disposition records. Genocide authorization. All indexed, verified, and ready for declassification.
You have everything. How? The Salith could not have.
His 3-fingered hands reached for the slate, then withdrew. They trembled visibly on the polished wood.
How we got it doesn't matter. What matters is that we have it, and we will release it on our timeline. You have 24 hours to inform the Concordat. After that, the first packet goes public.
Krell snatched the slate, his composure shattered. He turned without another word. The Terran guards opened the doors. Krell strode out. But his stride was no longer arrogant. It was the shuffle of a cornered animal. In his hand, The slate held the Concordat's fate, and he knew it. Krell sealed himself in the ship's comm booth, fingers shaking as he activated the emergency cipher. The Concordat Council flickered into view.
The humans have everything. Every order, every fleet movement, indexed and ready for release.
The ornate council chamber erupted. A dozen leaders shouted at once, holographic faces warping with fury and fear. One faction demanded immediate preemptive strikes on Earth. Another called for Krell's head. A senior council member slammed a claw on the table. An attack now would be suicide. We have no fleet coordination. The humans would repulse us before the first volley. Krell listened, his skin mottling with dread. The vote was chaos. No resolution passed. Finally, the council's speaker addressed him directly. Buy us time, Krell. Anything. Offer them trade, territory, whatever they want. Just delay the leak. The transmission ended. Krell sat in the humming silence, the weight of a crumbling Concordat pressing down. Vel, I stood at her office window on Sanctuary, watching the sun set over the green fields her people now called home. Carver entered quietly. She turned, and he saw the conflict in her eyes.
Carver, if Earth pulls the trigger, the Karun might lash out at Sanctuary. My people could suffer all over again.
Then we'll protect them. Earth isn't doing this to stir chaos. This is justice, and we will be the shield you never had. Your people's pain will not be in vain. It will end the Concordat's evil. I promise you that.
A chime from her terminal. An encrypted message from Director Marchetti. Vel-I's slender fingers traced the screen. She read the words, her voice barely a whisper. Authorization granted. Dossier releases in 12 hours. She closed her eyes. After so long, the storm was finally breaking.
Your people are not alone. We stand with you to the end.
Krell returned to President Catherine's office, his composure gone. He did not ask for trade. He begged.
We will offer anything, resources, territory, but you cannot release those files. The Concordat will collapse.
The collapse is the point, Ambassador. We want justice, not tribute. Your government will issue a full public admission of genocide and dismantle its military forces. Only then will the leaks stop.
Dismantle? You ask us to commit political suicide. I must consult the council. Give me more time.
Before Catherine could reply, a priority alert flashed across her terminal. Earth's media array had done its work. The first packet was live, blaring across every galactic channel. Holographic news feeds lit up with damning documents, executive orders, targeting lists, the signed genocide authorization. Krell watched frozen. His gamble had failed. The leak was out, and his masters were exposed. Within hours, 3 Concordat member species issued statements of withdrawal. The Foundation cracked. Director Marchetti summoned Vel-I to Earth's Central Command Center. The invitation was curt and absolute. Carver escorted her through a maze of security checkpoints until they reached a sealed operations room.
Matriarch Vel-I, the Concordat is fracturing. Half their fleet commanders have declared neutrality.
She gestured to a simple dark wood desk positioned before the main display. A stylus and a single document lay upon it.
That desk, what is it for?
When the Karun Concordat finally surrenders, it will be signed here, by you.
Vel-I's hands stilled. The weight of 3 years settled into the grain of that wood.
6 more. Karun battle groups just transmitted their unconditional capitulation. The collapse is complete.
Vel-I watched the feeds. Karun ship after ship extinguishing its weapons, broadcasting white flags across the void. She sat at the desk. The stylus waited. Only the final signature remained. The doors opened. Ambassador Krell entered, flanked by 2 silent Terran guards. His ornate robe seemed heavier than before. He crossed to the simple dark wood desk, where Vel-I sat, her hands folded, her expression unreadable.
I am here, on behalf of what remains of the Karun Concordat. to formalize our full and unconditional surrender.
President Catherine observed from the side, a silent witness. Colonel Carver stood at her shoulder, his posture rigid.
I swore I would never kneel before a Salith, and yet here I am.
He took the stylus. His hand was steady, but his eyes betrayed a tremor that his fingers could not hide. Vel-I did not move. She only watched, her gaze a quiet judgment that needed no words. The stylus moved. The first signature, then the second. The final page bore the Karun seal, pressed under his palm. President Catherine nodded once. The galaxy watched the Karun Concordat breathe its last.
It is done.
President Catherine took the podium before the Galactic Assembly, the silence heavier than any applause.
3 years ago, a dying flotilla asked for a corner of our world. We gave them a planet. We did it because it was right. And justice delayed is not justice forgotten.
News outlets replayed the escort, the world, the open arms. The story rewrote. Not naive, but patient. Across the galaxy, species that once mocked Earth sent quiet congratulations, their tone newly respectful.
We are not warlords. We are not saviors. Strength is not measured in ships, but in the willingness to protect what is right.
Her address was brief. No triumph, no threat. Just a stone dropped into still water. Earth's place in the galactic order had shifted. Open gates proved stronger than any closed fist. In Sanctuary, Vel-I watched the broadcast with Carver. She did not smile. She simply touched the wood of her new desk and nodded. Vel-I walked the paths of Sanctuary alone, the domed city behind her. The settlement spread out before her under a gentle sun. Salith children ran past her, their laughter ringing. They had never seen a Karun warship.
They will grow up knowing only peace. That is my victory.
She paused at a public terminal to check the day's messages. Her inbox flooded with words from every corner of the galaxy.
Survivors from the outer colonies. They heard the broadcasts. They are coming home.
She left the terminal and knelt by the lake where an elder had cried on arrival day. The water was still.
My brother would have loved this place.
She stood and looked up at the sky. For the first time in decades, it did not threaten. It simply was. She did not weep loudly. A single tear traced her cheek, and she let it fall. Then she turned back toward the city, toward her people, carrying the peace she had earned for them. Colonel Carver found her on the hill overlooking the settlement, the stars emerging above Sanctuary.
You earned this peace, Vel-I, but I suspect your people are not finished.
Number. Torin tells me the Intelligence Directorate wants our permanent cooperation. I have accepted.
Then it's official. You are not just refugees anymore. You are allies.
Earth never treated us as lesser. That is why we will stand beside you.
Then let's make it official.
He extended his hand, the same gesture from the hangar 3 years ago.
The first time I took your hand, I was afraid. Now I take it as an equal.
Then it's a new beginning for both our peoples.
They stood together, the matriarch and the colonel, watching the Terran patrols pass overhead, partners in a new order. There were no parades, no triumphal arches. Earth simply continued its patrols, steady and unhurried. The defense satellites still ringed the home world, not out of fear, but as a quiet promise kept. On Sanctuary, the first school opened, and children who had known only ship walls now learned under an open sky. Their laughter was the only monument that mattered. The original flotilla ships were preserved in orbit, a museum of patched hulls and flickering lights. Young Salith visited them, learning how their ancestors crossed the void with nothing but hope. The Karun Concordat was gone, its name now a caution in history files. Earth never fired a shot. The galaxy learned that day that open gates, backed by patience and steel, could reshape order more deeply than any war, and Earth remained what it had always been, a sanctuary for the lost, not because it was weak, but because it chose to be strong enough to protect. The stars above Sanctuary shone a little brighter that night. A new signal reached Earth's sensors. Another species, fleeing genocide, limping toward Sol. The patrol fleet did not wait. Within minutes, an escort detachment changed course. The Terran carriers fell into formation, the same way they had for the Salif. Routine now. As the ragged ships entered sensor range, Earth's beacon activated. The message that had once been a surprise now arrived as a promise. You are home. In orbit, Earth turned beneath its ring of satellites, the phrase glowing in the atmosphere. The cycle was no longer an exception. It was Earth's law. The galaxy had learned that open gates did not mean weak hands, and so the sanctuary endured, not as a monument, but as a living choice. The stars above Sol shone on, and the words echoed, "You are home."